Bellator MMA versus Rizin. These are the predictions and the betting breakdown. The New Year's Eve card. It caps off 2022. And we got a fun cross-promotion battle between the best guys from Bellator and the best guys from Rizin. I can't wait to get into it. Make sure you guys smash that like button. If you're new, subscribe. Turn those post notifications on and make sure to share the video as well. And let's get into the first fight of the night. Koji, Takeda versus Gadzhi, Rabadanov. I got to ride the side of Gadzhi. I'll tell you out the gate that I'm picking him to win here. Takeda has decent grappling in his own right. And I will say, Japanese fighters, especially what you see in Rizin, pretty scrambly on the floor. Not easy to just pin down and beat the hell out of. But I do like Gadzhi's chances of consistently being able to find takedowns. A difference that you will see, because all of these fights are in the ring as opposed to the cage, is that cage work you see of a lot of these very high-level Russian grapplers do. They work against their Team Khabib. They control so well against the cage and land takedowns from there. In a sense, that's limited because the ropes are now there. They're not as stable as a cage. It changes the game a little bit, but what I like about Gadzhi is he times takedowns in the open mat very well. I see Takeda getting taken down. I feel like he won't be a complete fish out of water on the mat. I think Rabadanov probably gets top position for a bit. I see Takeda getting up. As they try to strike, I think Takeda's going to come with a lot of aggressiveness. He is a pretty decent striker, fights out of that southpaw stance. I like the lead right hook a lot, but at times as he's throwing, I do think he might overshoot, and then Rabadanov goes right under, double leg takedown, control, and I think he wins a unanimous decision in this fight here. The odds for it, Rabadanov minus 275, Takeda plus 200. You know, I don't think Takeda is like this awful underdog, but I can't bet against the OV. I got to ride Gadzhi Rabadanov to get the win. Team Khabib Nurmagomedov himself is going to be in the corner. He's actually teamed up with all the Bellator guys for this card. He's like the head coach per se for this event. He's the team leader. And I like how they're doing it. And I like the chances of Rabadanov's wrestling getting him the win. So I'm picking him to do it here. He is a little bit of a wide favorite, but I expect him to get it done. Rabadanov to beat Koji Takeda. I expect it to be a unanimous decision where Takeda looks game and decent and puts up a bit of a fight. I don't think he's completely smashed in this matchup, but ultimately loses the mixed martial arts contest here. Good fight to start things off, but we heat up with the next few, especially this next one. I like this matchup a lot. Juan Archuleta versus Chul Kim. Listen, this is not an easy fight for Juan Archuleta. I am picking Archuleta, the Spaniard, to get the win. I think he's the quicker striker, definitely the better boxing skill set. With Kim on the opposite side, you have a very upright, kind of modified Muay Thai style. Comes with good forward pressure, seems pretty damn durable. But I do think Archuleta has the better wrestling of the two. It's something I really think he could lean on in this fight. If anything goes awry, striking. But what I'm actually seeing, I think it's going to be a lot of striking to mix up takedowns for Archuleta. As they stand, I think it's competitive. I can't completely sleep on Kim, though. He's got pretty good straight punches. I do like his body kicks. And in his own right, he likes to mix in takedowns, and he's a guy with high volume. I actually expect this to be a good back and forth fight, whereas Archuleta probably wins the decision. Would it blow my mind if Kim steals it on a close one on the cards? No, but I'm going to pick Archuleta to get it done here. And he is the favorite, minus 155, Kim plus 120. I think he should deserve a decision at the end of it. So if the decision goes the other way in a close fight, is it that Rizin bias? We are going to be in Japan. I know Kim is a South Korean fighter, but still fights for the organization. I'm going to hope that there's no corruption with the judging. I don't think there will be. So I'm going to pick Archuleta by decision. And at minus 155, I actually think those odds are pretty good. I see him as the superior fighter, but also the superior athlete to Kim on the opposite side. I expect it to be a good scrap, though. Kim, tough man, and I do expect him to put up a good bout. But ultimately, Archuleta, the more high-level fighter. I mean, this is a guy that beat Patchy Mix on a decision. He had the Bellator belt. Even his performance against Stotts, he was doing really well up until he got knocked out. I think he can beat Kim in this fight. So I'm going to pick Archuleta to get it done over Kim. And what should be a very interesting matchup, though. I think this could turn out to be like the sleeper fight of the card. Next fight, it is a trilogy. Kyoji, Horiguchi, Hiromasa, Ougikubo. If you remember Hiromasa, he was on The Ultimate Fighter, the flyweight season, which Tim Elliott actually beat him in the finals to fight against Mighty Mouse. Interesting that he didn't get a UFC contract, but you look at Brandon Moreno, Pantoja, I mean, Tim Elliott, still in the game in the UFC, still ranked. They didn't give Ougikubo a shot. Kaikar France from that season too, who wasn't even near the finals. You know, Ougikubo was a finalist. Instead, was back to Japan, has done well fighting there. He's fought the highest level of guys, and he's a good fighter, man. But Kyoji Horiguchi has beaten him twice before, and I expect him to secure another win in this third one. Their rematch was a close fight, the last battle. I mean, I definitely think Horiguchi got the clear win, but I mean, Ougikubo landed strikes. He dropped, Horiguchi at one point. I do think Ougikubo's a good fighter. He has a very low stance. I feel like the kickboxing technically is going to be better with Horiguchi. He's also the physically stronger guy, but you look at there's a little bit of a natural size difference. I do think Ougikubo fighting at 35, I mean, it's, flyweight in Japan, different weight classes, whatnot, but he was at 25 fighting, and I think maybe his best class when he, was on The Ultimate Fighter. I know Horiguchi has a background as a flyweight, but he's still the naturally bigger guy, and I do think he has a physical strength advantage, though Ougikubo is incredibly technical, very scrambly on the ground, like I mentioned earlier with Takeda. Japanese guys very scrambly on the mat, but as is Horiguchi on the opposite side. I expect Horiguchi to be able to win this fight. I think he can hurt Ougikubo at points. I'm going to say he gets it done on the cards, winning a decision. A TKO would not blow my mind. Another thing I want to note, what's interesting with this fight, though, is the fact that the odds are minus 500 Horiguchi, Ougikubo at plus 325. That is because he has beaten him twice. That is not relevant to how the fight will actually look. I don't think that Horiguchi looks minus 500. I think he could look minus 250. But that's just because the guy's beaten you twice already. What are the odds, that third one it changes? I personally feel like maybe there's some added pressure in the back of Horiguchi's mind. He's fighting a guy he's already beaten twice. Does he overlook him a little bit? And for Hiromasa, he wants this vengeful rematch. I don't think he gets it, though. He's a decent fighter, good low stance switches too, but I think that the style of Horiguchi with the kickboxing is too much, and I actually think Horiguchi is going to have an edge on the ground. Though I think Ougikubo is a decent wrestler, Horiguchi just better overall. He's got some advantages with the speed, combination, striking. I think strength, as I mentioned already. Horiguchi decision, but the odds are crazy at minus 500. I like the fight, though. We'll see what happens in this trilogy. Horiguchi, yeah, he fights in Bellator, but he also just fought in Rizin. It's Bellator versus Rizin. This right here is a battle of Rizin fighters. I don't think Horiguchi's really against the Rizin side. I know he's kind of representing Team Bellator, but not really here. This is battle of two Rizin vets that have fought previously in the organization. Horiguchi getting his hand raised. Let's get to the co-main event of the evening. Patricio Pitbull versus Kleber Koike Erbst. Pitbull all day. He's going to smash Kleber. I think he's going to knock him out, actually. I think the striking difference is massive. Kleber Koike Erbst has really good submissions. The guy's nasty on the mat. That's his game, though, is going to be the jiu-jitsu skill set that he brings to the table. 27 submission wins, so he has it on the floor. On the feet, I'm watching him strike. I see amateuristic mistakes. I see a guy that gets wide with his stand-up and even off balance at times. Patricio Pitbull can snipe people and knock them out. Look at the power he's got in his hands. He's got some KO wins. I think he's also physically strong. I don't think Erbst has much of a chance to submit him on the floor, whereas definitely going to be where he wants to fight. I think that Pitbull's going to close the gap with striking. He has kind of like a modified karate-esque stand-up game. Very good low kicks, powerful straight down the line. And I think he's flatlining Erbst, probably in the first or second round. And I think it's a dominant performance where Patricio Pitbull looks like Bellator's GOAT, because that's what he really is, the greatest fighter Bellator has ever had. And I think he's going to put that on display here in Rizin. I'm happy he gets this chance, but I think it's a complete mismatch. The odds, minus 360 for Pitbull. Kleber Koike Erbst, plus 255. Pitbull should be the minus 500 on the card. These odds could be on Horiguchi's fight. Pitbull's a massive favorite. He's got so many advantages in this fight. Like, yeah, I guess you can look at the flashiness of the jiu-jitsu and the tons of submission wins, but Pitbull's nasty as hell on the floor, and he's definitely stronger than Erbst. He's knocking him out, though. He might submit him just to prove a point to choke out the submission specialist. Inside distance, Patricio Pitbull. And I think the odds at minus 360 are not wide enough. I think he's going to kill his opponent here. So Pitbull, knockout, and it's not even going to be competitive. Excited as hell for this fight, though. Nice little showcase for Patricio. Main event of the evening. If you guys haven't yet, make sure you smash that like button. And if you're new, subscribe to the channel. It is McKee versus Roberto de Souza. Guys, I might blow your mind with this pick, but I think de Souza is going to somehow submit McKee. is so confident in his grappling skills. I expect him to be willing to engage de Souza on the floor. If they're on the mat, this guy is freakish with his submission abilities. He just kind of connects himself to you. Very physically strong with his grappling. Not the best wrestler. I can see McKee willing to engage the grappling. I could also see de Souza pulling guard, and then McKee trying to get some ground and pound off from the top. Even McKee attempting to submit somebody like de Souza. He's not going to find it. De Souza is extremely good on the floor. He's freakish as hell on the mat. His submission skill set is some of the best. Every person that he has fought, he has submitted. He has one loss. He avenged it with a submission. That was Johnny Case. I expect him to shock a lot of people with this McKee upset here. I think he's going to win by submission, guys. I'm riding with him to get the W. McKee definitely has the better stand-up. The grappling edge is de Souza, and McKee being so willing to engage in grappling because he's really good on the mat and has pulled off some crazy submissions himself against guys that are good on the floor. I can see why the confidence would be there, but de Souza, I think, is a different beast. This guy's freaky. I'm going Roberto de Souza to get the win. Roberto de Souza. Upset. He is the champion at lightweight in Rizin, so I think he kind of puts himself in one of those crazy spots where maybe then he's jumped to the actual Bellator organization. If he beats McKee, do we not do de Souza, Usman Nurmagomedov next? I'd be willing to watch that fight. I'm going to ride with him to win. I know McKee's fantastic. He's great everywhere. He's a superb athlete, but I think de Souza does pull off the submission. I could see them then running it back in Bellator and McKee pulling that one out. I just have a very weird feeling about this one. The grappling skill set, how the matchup aligns. De Souza's an awkward striker too, and I can find him having some type of awkward success on the stand-up. I mean, he throws a lot of jabs, and they're awkward and weird, but like he still finds home to these shots. There's certain guys with this weird styles that kind of work. De Souza's stand-up is that. On the floor, he is a straight G. He's a killer, and I think that he's going to get the win here. Now, if you look at the loss to Johnny Case the first time, De Souza got dropped and he broke. He tapped the strikes. He came back from that on an absolute tear, and I think that he's going to get the win over McKee in this one and shock a ton of people. Very excited for this matchup here. It caps things off with Rizin versus Bellator. And something crazy is bound to happen on New Year's Eve. I think it's this one. The odds for the fight, de Souza plus 180. They're not crazy wide because I think the bookies are saying that grappling skill set is real. McKee is minus 200. I like de Souza to pull off the upset. The one guy I'm picking for Rizin is their champion. I have a lot of respect for this guy's abilities. I've been watching de Souza silently for a while now, and I know he's a legitimate threat on the floor. McKee just had a competitive fight with Spike Carlo. Yes, clean win. I say competitive. He goes the distance. It was a clean win. Yes, there was moments. De Souza will find the moment and pull off the upset. So we're going Roberto de Souza over McKee for the upset of the year, literally, because it's the end of it on New Year's Eve. Exciting card for Rizin. I can't wait for it. It's so strange because it's on at 8 p.m. tape delay on Showtime, or on Fight TV, you can purchase the pay-per-view that's on at 5 a.m. Eastern time in the U.S. I want to do a fight companion for this card. I might have to get up at 5 in the morning and do the Rizin card that's like prior to this. There's a Rizin 40 card, and then the main card, which is Bellator versus Rizin. So we might have a crazy New Year's Eve for me. I might be up at 5 a.m. doing a live stream. I'll definitely keep you guys updated on that one. Stay tuned for the content. I hope you guys enjoyed the breakdown. Let me know your picks in the comments. I'm very curious where you guys are at with this Bellator versus Rizin card. I hope you enjoyed the breakdown as always. Much love, my people. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, whatever else you're celebrating. Much love to you. I appreciate everybody for tuning into the show, and I got mad love for you guys. Smash the likes, subscribe, and if you don't have anything to say in the comments, but you're trying to boost the algorithm for your boy, drop a W in the chat. Much love, people, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace, guys.